Hi guys, this is Palak Sharma, your educator for English at Unacademy. This is a daily series on MCQs for comprehension skills in English, and as you all know, we'll do around 5 MCQs, but on the request of few people, I've tried increasing these MCQ limits and we'll increase it 2 by a day. So today we are going to do 7 MCQs and then we'll see if we are able to do it early enough and we'll add more to it as the time goes by. So a few things about me, you can read them over here. And I'm an economics honors student at Sophia College. I am a poet at heart, content developer, a global youth ambassador, and a mixture of Keats and Shakespeare. Please rate, review, recommend, and share this lesson as much as you can because your ratings will help people know the worth of this course. And if you share it and recommend it, more and more people will connect with Unacademy, and this platform will be having a more ominous present. And then this is my link. You can follow me with this link. Now the first MCQ, without any delay, let's start with it. These questions are not complete sentences. One or more words are left out of each sentence. Under each sentence, there are 4 words or phrases given. Choose one word or phrase that completes the sentence correctly. So you have to choose one word out of these 4 options to complete this sentence. Sentence says, information overload in ads is a common problem. Dash, drug companies marketing their products. So the options are A, at, B, for, C, of, and D, from. So you can think of the option, take your time, pause the video, and the correct answer to this question is C, of. Why of? Because information overload in ads is a common problem of drug companies marketing their products. So it's a common problem of these companies, and hence we've used this word of. We couldn't use at. Information overload in ads is a common problem at drug companies. No, it's wrong. We could have used for in this case. Like, it is a very near probability. Information overload in ads is a common problem for drug companies marketing their products. But no, we'll not use for in this case because mostly what happens in for sentences is that the victim of the thing, like in this case, the drug companies, they have to be in a limited quantity. Like in this case, we're talking generally about all the drug marketing companies who are marketing drugs as their products. So we're talking about the general companies. So we'll take off. If it is for a single person, for a single firm, or a particular individual, a particular unit, then we could have used for in this case, and from is already eliminated. We cannot say information overload in ads is a common problem from drug companies marketing their products. It is wrong entirely. A and D can be eliminated, and of and for can be confusing, but for your sake I'll just say it again that for is used when we are referring to a particular unit, and in general we use of. Then comes the second MCQ for today. In these questions, a related pair of words in capitals is followed by 4 pair of words. Select the pair that best expresses the relationship similar to that expressed in the original pair. So the relationship between thread and cotton, and there is a relationship between thread and cotton, and you have to search out of which of these 4 same relationship exists in these pair of words. So we'll start with option A, beans are to coffee. Option B, cloth is to shirt. C, noodles are to flour. And the vegetables are to soup. So in the same way in which thread is to cotton, you have to find which one out of these 4 is to which. You can take your time, think of the answer, pause the video. And the correct answer to this question is A, beans are to coffee. Why? Because a thread, it's made of cotton only. Beans are made of coffee. Cloth is not made of shirt. Shirt is made of cloth. Noodles are not made of flour purely. There are more things made to it. And this is again inverse of what happened in this case. Noodles is not the raw material. Noodles are made from flour, but what happens is that noodles are not the entire thing which makes up the flour. And then we have vegetables are to soup. This is again wrong because soup is made up of more things apart from vegetables. So the correct answer comes beans are to coffee. This coffee powder, it's made actually from the beans. And therefore, in the same way, like threads are actually made from cotton. Moving on to next, we have this one, third MCQ. Choose the word opposite in meaning to the given word, and the word is gristly. Option is option A, fragrant. Option B, haggard. Option C, pleasant. Option D, shapely. You have to find the opposite to it. You can take your time, and the correct answer to this question is C, pleasant. Because gristly means something which doesn't please us, something which makes us sad, something which makes us angry, and the opposite to it is pleasant. For the rest of the 3 options, we have got the opposites over here. For fragrant, the opposite is smelly. For haggard, the opposite is fresh. Then for shapely, The opposite is misshapen. So we know fragrant, something which has good smell. Smelly, something which has bad smell. Haggard, something which is very old, rotten. Fresh, something which has just come out. Shapely, something which is very much in shape. And misshapen, which is distorted, which doesn't have a shape. Next MCQ, fourth. Each of these questions, a disarranged sentence is given and coded as A, B, C, and D. Select the choice which gives the correct order of the parts of the sentence in order to make it meaningful. You have to give the correct order to these parts of the sentence. Part A, new members. Part B, and to raise money. Part C, the purpose of the meeting. Part D is to introduce. You have to make a complete sentence which makes sense out of these four parts of the sentences. So the option first says CBDA, option B, CDAB, option C, ABCD, option D, ABDC. So you can think of the answer, take more time than 10 seconds, take 15 seconds for this question. It might be a bit tough, and then you can move on to the next portion. So the answer to this question is C, D, A, and B. How does this happen? The B option is the correct answer. C, the purpose of the meeting is to introduce new members and to raise money. So now this makes sense. The purpose of the meeting is to introduce new members and to raise money. So now it's making sense. The rest of the options do not make any sense. So they are wrong options. We know they are not the correct option. The correct option is B, which makes true sense, complete sense to us. MCQ fifth. In these questions, in each sentence, some part of the whole is underlined. Each sentence is followed by 4 alternative versions of the underlined portion. Select the alternative you consider most correct and most effective according to the requirements of standard written English. So actually, I just forgot to underline it over here. You can underline this portion. This is the underlined part. Okay. Since we are living in Bombay for 5 years, we are reluctant to move to another city. So the underlined part, I hope you can see it now. You have to find which out of these 4 options can replace that part and which one is correct according to standard written English. So option A says, being that we living. Option B says, since we were living. Option C, since we have been living. Option D, being that we have been living. You can think of it, take more time. And then you can move on to the next portion, which says the answer. And the answer to this question is C, since we have been living. Why since we have been living? Because it's a continuous process. It is happening even now. It's coming in past continuous. We are living. We have been living since a lot of time, since 5 years, and now also we are living. We are continuing living in Bombay. So that's why we are reluctant to move to another city. So now we know that the correct answer to this question is C, not B. Being doesn't make sense in this sentence. This being option, you can already eliminate the 2. And then since we were living and since we have been living. So of course we are reluctant. We've come to know that are reluctant because we have known now that they are presently living in Bombay and they are not willing to leave Bombay. So we can find out that they are reluctant and therefore it is a present sentence. So you have to think of something which is continuous, that it has been continuously happening since 5 years. So this sentence expresses this continuous feature the best. Since we have been living in Bombay for 5 years, we are reluctant to move to another city. So that's it for the 5th MCQ. Moving on to the next one. 6th MCQ. Some parts of sentences have errors and some parts have none. Find out which part of a sentence has an error and choose that part as your answer. So in this category, our first question says, last night, you have to find out which part has the error. We have done this kind of questions, so it's fine by us. I don't think we need to explain this once more. So the option says, last night, you returned lately or no error. So if there's an error in this part, say A. In this part, say B. In this part, say C. And if there's no error, say D. So the correct answer to this question says C, lately. Why this is incorrect? Because you have to find out which part was not correct. Okay, you had to find out the errors, not the part which was correct. So what you found here was that last night you returned. This is fine. Last night you returned. Lately doesn't make sense over here. It should be simply late. Last night you returned late. Lately doesn't make sense. Okay, so we have found that the correct answer to this question is C, and lately is incorrect. What should have been instead of lately? It should have been late only. Late would have done the part. Moving on to the next MCQ, the last one for today. Out of the 4 alternatives, choose the one which best expresses the meaning of the given word. For example, bondage. So the options are slavery, fetters, chains, and imprisonment. Now, just highlight this word meaning because we are looking for the meaning of the given word, not anything apart from it. So for the meaning of bondage, what do you find closest to the meaning of bondage? Just tick that option and then we can move on. So the correct answer to this question is A, slavery. Slavery is bondage. Nothing other than that. Fetters it's like a thing which is used to chain the prisoners. So it is a noun more than a feeling. Bondage is an adjective. Bondage is a phenomena happening to someone. So bondage is slavery. It's not just simply the fetters. Fetters are what chains are used to bind the prisoners. Chains are also, they are a subjective thing. Chains are chains. It doesn't mean bondage every time. Imprisonment is actually a milder form of bondage. Imprisonment allows you to have your own rights and you are not to serve anyone. Imprisonment simply means you've been prisoned, and bondage means you have to serve that person downright there every time whenever that person demands you to serve him. So bondage is something different from imprisonment, and it is closest in meaning to slavery. So that's it. That is it. That is the 7 MCQs for today, and we'll move to more of them. We'll just extend this upper limit more and more, and we'll just go to a higher ceiling sooner. So just review it and let me know if it was fine. These 7 MCQs were okay by you, and we can move on to more patterns. If you come across any new type of question, just write it in the comment section or put it in the Q&A section, because that way people will also come to know about this question. So that is it. Rate, review, recommend, share this lesson as much as you can. Have a nice day.